Hi, I'm Acoustic Guitar editor Scott Nygaard, here to play the musical examples for this edition of Weekly Workout, which features scales, intervals, and chords that move up the fingerboard, not across it. Most methods for learning the fingerboard concentrate on learning notes in 4 to 5 fret sections, running scales across the strings, and learning how all the notes relate within those positions. But it's also helpful to learn how scales move up the fingerboard on each individual string. Doing this will help you connect the fingerboard positions you know, so you can move up and down the neck more smoothly. Take these exercises as slowly as you want, concentrating on playing cleanly. The idea here is to learn the major scale on each string and then connect it with the major scale on other strings, so that you really begin to visualize the neck from top to bottom. Week 1's workout is really the meat of this month's lesson. It may look simple at first, just a C major scale running from the nut up to the 12th fret on each string. But if you don't get these scale positions down, you'll have trouble combining them to create intervals and chords in the following workouts. This week's workout consists of 2 exercises. The first 6 measures show the C major scales on each string, and the second 5 measures consist of third intervals on adjacent strings moving up the fingerboard. In the first half, you'll notice, however, that I've started the second string scale on the root note, C, at the 1st fret, not the open string. I've done this to make sure you get the sound of the C major scale in your ears. So here's week 1. In week 2's workout, we're going to combine scales on non-adjacent strings, starting with 6th intervals on the G and E strings. We'll use the top note of the 6th as our guide in each measure here. Notice that the top notes of each pattern correspond to the scales in the first 4 bars of week 1's workout. We're just adding a 6th 2 strings below each note. The second half of this workout adds notes a 10th, an octave and a third, 3 strings below the scales on the top 3 strings. So here's week 2. Week 3's workout starts with octaves on the E and D strings and continues with octaves on the B and A and then G and E strings. We can also play octaves on 2 string sets with only 1 string between them, as in the second half of this workout, measures 4 through 6. Notice that we have to start with octaves 4 strings apart down by the nut to get all the notes in. Here's week 3. Now that you've got a few sets of intervals under your fingers, Week 4's workout uses a similar approach but with 3-note triads. The first set, measures 1 through 4, uses voicings with a third on top, root in the middle, and fifth on the bottom, and the result is a harmonized major scale. The voicings in measures 5 through 8 have the root on top, fifth in the middle, and third on the bottom. Here's Week 4. The next 3 examples are for those of you who got through the first 4 workouts and need something else to work on. You may have noticed that the voices of the chords in Week 4's workout move up 1 step on each string as we move to a new chord, creating major, minor, and diminished chords. We can create a similar set of major chord voicings by modifying these examples slightly. Example 1 sticks to C, F, and G voicings by hanging on some notes as we move up the fingerboard. Here's example 1. Example 2 spreads our 3-note chords out a bit, with 6th intervals on top and 5ths on the bottom. Example 3 reverses this with the 5ths on top and 6ths on the bottom. So that's this edition of Weekly Workout. For Acoustic Guitar, I'm Scott Nygaard.